Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Timely Action Hour podcast. This is the show where we talk about everything from comic books to movies and everything in between. My name is Aidan, and I hope that you're doing well today. This is Season 5, Episode 2, and I'm going to be discussing my top 10 favorite comic book story arcs published by DC Comics. Now, in the previous episode, I did the same thing for Marvel Comics, so if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on the best Marvel stories, please consider checking that episode out. Now, counting down from 10, with 10 being one that I really enjoy, and 1 being my all-time favorite. This is just my opinion, so feel free to disagree with me in the comments. And if you're new to my show and want to check out more episodes like this, please subscribe and share it with your friends if they're interested in this sort of content. And please check out my YouTube channel, The National Timely Action Hour, on youtube.com. And I also have a Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, and Discord. So if you want to send me a message or just get updates about my podcast and YouTube channel, please consider following me on those websites. And if you'd like to support this show financially, I would greatly appreciate that. I have a Patreon page and a merch store. So thank you for considering that. Anyway, counting down from number 10, I have Green Arrow, The Longbow Hunters, which was published in 1987. This is I believe, the first post-crisis Green Arrow storyline, and this springboarded the ongoing series. But The Longbow Hunters was this original graphic novel or limited series that showed Green Arrow in a much darker tone than he had been previously, but it doesn't lose the character, which I really appreciate. And it's just a very well-written story with beautiful artwork, and that can be said for everything on this list, so I'm just going to get that out of the way. At number 9, I have Watchmen, and I mean, this series has been talked to death by hundreds, if not thousands, of people in the mainstream media, in the comic book message boards, on video essays on YouTube, podcast episodes on various different shows have discussed this, so I'm just going to leave off with saying it's fantastic. It deserves all of the hype. Then at number 8, I have The Justice League of America, New World Order, which is the first 4 issues of Justice League Volume 3, published in 1997. Now, JLA New World Order is what really cemented the Justice League as this force to be reckoned with, because they were always the premier superhero team in the DC universe, but by the time that this story had come out, it was, they were down in the dumps and they needed this shot in the arm to really bounce back, and it is absolutely fantastic. Then at number 7, I have the 1986 miniseries Aquaman, which retells his origin story post-Crisis on Infinite Earths, and this really, really should have been, so they take some inspiration from this from the second Aquaman film, but this should have been its own, film adaptation, or, it could have been... what I'm trying to say is, it's a great story, and it has a lot of lore for Aquaman that came out of this, but unfortunately, the character hasn't always been the most popular, so it's overlooked or squandered, which is a shame. Then for number 6, I have The Flash Terminal Velocity, which is collected in The Flash Volume 2, issues 95 to 100, published in 1994. Now, this features Wally West, the third Flash, and I absolutely love this story. Wally is my favorite Flash. My second favorite is the original, Jay Garrick. And my third favorite is Barry Allen. That's not to say that Barry sucks. I just prefer his predecessor and his successor. But Terminal Velocity, I believe that's around the same time that they introduced the Speed Force. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but they were really expanding the Flash lore in this arc, and I absolutely love it. Then at number 5, we have Green Lantern Rebirth from 2004, which is a 4-issue miniseries which resurrected Hal Jordan, the second Green Lantern. He died in the 90s, and he needed to be resurrected because the guy who wrote the story, Jeff Johns, really liked Hal and wanted him to be back. So that's basically the plot, but I really enjoy the artwork, as I said, and the story is great. It really affirms why Hal Jordan is such a cool character. Then at number 4, I have Kingdom Come, which is a 4-part miniseries published in 1996. This is absolutely one of the best comic book stories I've ever read in my entire life. It is gorgeous to look at. Alex Ross's art is spectacular. Mark Waid's writing is poetic and beautiful and tragic all at the same time. It is everything I want in a story set in an alternate future. Then at number 3, we have Wonder Woman The 12 Labors, which is from Wonder Woman Volume 1, issues 212 to 222, published between 1974 and 1976. This is pre-Crisis, and this is one of the first major... Wonder Woman's been around since 1941, but this is like one of the first actual story arcs that has a collected version that's not an omnibus or, just a collection of old Wonder Woman stories from the 50s. So that's very important. But it also has Wonder Woman rejoining the Justice League after losing her powers in the late 60s and early 70s. So it's a really good story, and I absolutely love it. Then at number 2, we have The Untold Legend of the Batman, which is a 3-issue miniseries published in 1980. This is a retelling of Batman's origin story, but it is absolutely gorgeous, and I love how it treats Batman as this legendary figure without going too ham, and I really appreciate that. Then my number 1 favorite DC Comics story arc is Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, which is published in Action Comics Volume 1, number 583, and Superman Volume 1, number 423 in 1986. This was the last story of Superman pre-Crisis, and it is a beautiful send-off to the original version of the character, and it's absolutely wonderful. And yeah, that's all I have for you today on this episode of the National Timely Action Hour podcast. Once again, my name is Aidan. Thank you so much for listening, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.